Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother, and this is your first of two weekly catch-ups for the Big Brother 26 season that is airing right now. Honestly, this week has been very chaotic, very fun, and a lot of entertaining things have happened. So we have got a lot of things to talk about today. However, before we get started, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, doing all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and make sure to keep up the love and support on the channel. You guys are doing fantastically. The more you guys engage with these videos, the more you guys watch these videos, the longer I'll keep doing them. Obviously, I want to keep doing it to the end of the season, but support's been dwindling. You guys can do better than this. Let's be honest. I've seen you do better than this. So, without much further ado, let us get into the episode. We've got a lot to talk about. 2 episodes worth, may I add. So, let's get started, shall we? So first of all, we have to talk about what happened with Tucker's eviction, because I gotta say, as much as it was a little bit of a surprise, it was also the most obvious thing that was going to happen. As soon as he landed up on that block on eviction night and was one of the final 2 people, he was going to be going home. However, I have to be honest, I was surprised that there was a flip going on right under our noses, kind of orchestrated by Chelsea. And I gotta be honest, it wasn't so much an orchestrated plan, because she kind of just took everyone into a room and went, vote how you want for your game. And 5 people decided that Tucker was actually bad for their game, which I absolutely feel is fair and valid. Rubina obviously feels a little bit upset, a little bit shafted, a little bit sad, because obviously she's lost the one person in this game that offered her nothing but love and devotion, and she actually admitted that she does love him, which I thought was really cute. Don't worry, you might be seeing him very soon, or you could be seeing him on finale night, I don't know. But anyway, either way, it is sad, it is unfortunate, but we have to move on. Tikor, she was kind of fine with Tucker going home. She was like, yeah, I put him up there because I was like, if we lose anyone else from our group, it would be detrimental. But like Tucker, I'm fine with him going. I don't want him to go, but if he does, it's not the end of the world, which I feel is absolutely fair and valid. So, you know what? Props to her, everything else. There was just a lot of things going on. Angela found out that Chemo voted to evict her, which was hilarious, because she was like, oh, it's fine. He'll still like you on the outside. And he went, I voted to evict you. And she was like, oh. It was so funny. Honestly, this woman is bringing all the entertainment to the show. And I gotta be honest, I'm just happy she's made jury. Do you know what I mean? Because at least then we haven't had a tragic pre-jury. We've had one of the best pre-juries in years, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me how there isn't a single dud on this series, in the nicest way possible. Like, maybe Kenny, but like even Kenny served some kind of a purpose earlier on in the series. So I feel like there's been no one that I'm like, oh yeah, they were a bit of a waste of space. Even Cam and Leah are becoming more interesting the more we go on. So I gotta give them props where props are due. The casting team did a fabulous job here. So the HOH challenge was the caged egg challenge. I don't know, is this a challenge that they've done before? Remember, I've only seen seasons 2, 3, 4, 24, 25, and now 26, obviously. So I'm a little bit all over the place. I do need to start going back and rewatching them. I'll probably do that on my own time. I don't really fancy reacting to Big Brother series, purely because there are like 30 odd episodes a series, and for the most part, there's not that many interesting things to react to. Yeah, but anyway, we are going to talk about the caged egg challenge. I gotta say, it was an interesting one. The first 3 people that dropped an egg have nots, and I was like, crazy. And I actually thought, as much as Angela needed safety this week, I obviously went into this knowing that the outcome of the veto meeting. So the fact that she was sitting there going, I'm not going to like compete until 3 people have dropped their eggs, I was like, okay, that's fair and valid, because she's already been a have-not. She was a have-not, what, 2 weeks ago? And she doesn't want to be a have-not again, which I think is absolutely fair and valid. Yeah, she's putting comfort and food above her place in the game, but Angela is uniquely positioned in this house that nobody actually wants her out apart from Quinn. Which is kind of crazy, considering like all those weeks back, she was a target in week 2. She was a target in week 3. She was a target in week 6 last week. She was a target this week. Crazy things have happened. And the fact that she has survived, I gotta give her props where props are due. She's incredible. She's amazing. Just amazing. You're sick, you're nasty, you look great in yellow. Anyway, I genuinely found it so tough to watch Quinn win this challenge. Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. I know a couple of weeks ago I was like, oh, Quinn's a little bit less insufferable now. Maybe I'm starting to like him. Nope. Back to insufferable this week. He's gotten Tucker out of the house, and now he's just like, oh, it's actually so frustrating. I genuinely do believe that he should have gotten rid of Quinn instead of Brooklyn in week 5, but it is what it is. Not much you can do about it, I guess. Ugh. But yeah, I find him so irritating. Like, also, this challenge, I think I would have got really frustrated with. I don't think I would have been able to do this, and props to them for doing it, because I think I would have lost my patience very, very quickly. I'd have been like, do you know what? I don't need HOH this week. Surely I've got enough allies to keep me off the block. To be fair, unless I was aligned with Tucker, I probably would have voted him out, so I think I would have been fine. So obviously, with Quinn winning HOH, we're in a little bit of a dangerous position as an Angela lover. Because immediately he was like, yeah, I'm putting up Rubina and I'm putting up Angela. Angela's my target. Now it's just time to work out the third one. And I was like, no. Why? Why are you still gunning for Angela? She's not a threat. But obviously, actually, she is probably the biggest threat in the house, because she's now survived 3 evictions, twice being on the block. And it's scary because people are seeing her as like, oh, not a threat, not a threat. But actually, could she make her way to finale night by being that kind of person? I mean, Felicia, was it Felicia? Miss Felicia? Miss Felicia, last series, absolutely bossed the competition. Made it all the way to 4th place. She was on the block about 7-8 times, which is actually crazy when you think about it. That's actually kind of wild. And she managed, she wasn't on it 8 times, I think it was about 6. But regardless, she survived every single time until the very, very last block, the 4th place one. And that was because there was an alliance of 3 that was against her. There wasn't much she could do. But this is what I mean. It's very possible for Angela to get all the way to the top, and people are like, oh, well, actually, that person's a bigger target. Let's get rid of them. That person's a bigger target. Let's get rid of them. So Quinn targeting Angela is a smart play on his behalf. I just hate him for it, because why are you getting rid of my bestie? Why are you getting rid of my favourite person? Don't do that. You've already gotten rid of Tucker. Don't kill all the entertainment in the series, because do you know what's really, really funny is I really do think that Quinn thinks he's hilarious and thinks that he's the most entertaining person in the series. But he really isn't. In fact, like, he actually might be the person I least like to see on my screen, which is kind of funny if you think about it. So obviously, T-Core is talking to Rubina and Chemo, and she says to him, like, look, Quinn has been an ally of ours, okay? And if he decides to put any of us up, then I'm sorry, but that alliance that we had, done. No more. I'm not trusting him anymore. He's off the list of people we protect. And I thought, wow, actually, yeah, because Quinn has been in the Visionaries with T-Core and Chemo since the 1st week, maybe the 2nd week. I don't know. But either way, they've been united for a long time. They've gotten through everything together. They survived the Cedric explosion that happened. They survived the Brooklyn explosion that happened. So, you know what? I really, really expected Quinn to honour that pact. But he didn't. He decided to put Angela, Chemo, and Rubina up on the block. Angela and Rubina, I expected him to do that. But Chemo was the shock. I didn't expect him to put Chemo up. And I actually think that Chemo is a more appetizing target for the house than Angela is. Even though Quinn is making it blatantly obvious that he wants Angela gone, I reckon the wrath of T-Core could catch up with Quinn, and Quinn could be the next person out the house. He can't play HOH next week. He can't. And there are a lot of people that are currently working against him, which is really funny to me. Like, not many people in the house trust him. They're willing to work with him because he's HOH. But as soon as he's out of that power room, I think he's going to end up back on the bottom of the barrel. And he could end up going home next week, which would actually be brilliant. So we have a couple of little conversations to talk about before we head into the veto competition. The little conversations, the first one is Angela and Quinn having a little repartee. Angela immediately came off the sort of nomination ceremony and was like, oh, I shouldn't have called him all those names. I know better than that. And I was like, that's hilarious. I love the fact that she still plays this like a mother that's reprimanding her over like not teaching her kids the right things, which I feel is hilarious. And it really does. It just boosts her appeal to me. I just find her so entertaining and so funny. Like, she actually is just one of the best people that I've ever seen on a Big Brother series. She's endlessly entertaining. Every conversation she has makes me go, oh, Angela, or ha ha ha, Angela. So yeah, I gotta back her. I can't lie. She's doing fabulously. Then the next conversation was Joseph and Chelsea. Joseph and Chelsea's conversation was actually so jarring to listen to. It was so jarring. Chelsea is not happy that T-Core was not on the block. She thinks Angela shouldn't be on the block and that T-Core should be. But that's because, like, she has a personal grievance against those three. Even though T-Core is trying to protect Chelsea, I still find it funny. I don't think Chelsea wants T-Core to go home. I just think she wants to give Chelsea a little bit of a scare. Oh no, T-Core a little bit of a scare, which I think is absolutely fair and valid. But her conversation with Joseph was just jarring with a capital J, because he's sitting there and he's going, oh yeah, we're both playing very similar games. And she's going in her head, in her confessionals, the fuck? No, we ain't. No, we ain't. I've won a competition. What have you won? Nothing. And then he's like, oh, I want to go all the way to the end of the competition, having won no competitions. And I was like, right, okay. So, what? Huh? Okay. He said he wants to be like Dr. Will. And I was like, well, if you want to be like Dr. Will, you kind of got to start manipulating people. Because currently, you're not doing a great deal of anything here. You're kind of making bezzy pals with everyone so that you won't get put up on the block. But we're going to see how that treats you by the end of the episode. It's just not a viable strategy. You've got to have solid alliances and you've got to have targets. You've also got to be winning competitions. You've got to make it clear that you aren't just nothing in this game. Because currently, Joseph, you're the only person in this competition that... Oh, I was going to say the only person in this competition that hasn't won a challenge, but I'm fairly certain Rubina hasn't won anything either, now that I'm thinking about it. Cam's won something, Chelsea's won something, Mackenzie's won something, Leah's now won something, Quinn's won a couple of things, Angela's won a couple of things, Chelsea, yap, T-Core, yap. Damn, I think it really is just Joseph and Rubina who have not won anything this entire competition. That's kind of crazy. Okay, veto competition. Yeah, this was a fun one, actually. I really like the pitch black activities. I think they're hilarious. People make mistakes that absolutely screw them up. And I gotta say, the person who won this challenge really surprised me. I was kind of shocked. The challenge was essentially there was a robot to be built, but all the pieces were in a pitch black building room. And they had to, like, feel around, but there were decoy, like, pieces. There were 11 pieces to put together in total. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of entertaining. It was kind of wild. And I did really enjoy it. It was so funny to see Quinn discard the one piece that he needed and then lose it in the pitch black room and then not even realise that he needed it. Angela hitting her head had me howling. Joseph kind of just sat there and did nothing, which really made me chuckle because obviously we'll see how that treated him by the end of the episode. But if he'd have tried a little bit harder and maybe won this competition, maybe he wouldn't have wound up on the block. You never know. But either way, Leah was the person who did win this challenge, and I gotta hand it to her. Fantastic. She pulled out a win when she needed it most because obviously her bezzy mate is on the block, Angela. And I was like, is she going to use the veto on her? Well, that's what we're about to discuss now. So, Leah is in a very sticky situation because Angela, her friend, is on the block. Okay, so Angela's up there. She wants to take Angela down. However, taking Angela down will piss Quinn off, who she is trying to keep on board, because Quinn is in love with Leah, and Leah knows this and is trying to keep him on side so that she'll be kept in the game, which is actually a really smart strategy. Now that I'm starting to get into Leah's head and understand what she's doing in this game, she's doing a lot more than I give her credit for. So you know what, Leah, you've risen in my ranks. I actually wouldn't mind you winning this game, because as much as you sailed through the first 6 weeks of this competition, did you sail, or were you just setting up endgame material? Were you making sure you had good relationships with every single person in the house? Even though you're in no major alliances, you're just good with everyone, so no one wants to nominate you. But then there's also the problem of Joseph being Quinn's replacement nominee. And Leah is another person who, like, Joseph is very fond of. And Joseph has a little bit of a crush on her. And again, she knows it. She's friend-zoned both of them. And they're just kind of wagging their tails, looking at her like with puppy dog eyes. So you gotta hand it to Leah. She's absolutely smashing it at the moment. And bringing down Angela would allow her to, A, secure a vote from Angela in the jury, which, already thinking about jury management, is spectacular. Great move from Leah, because she knows if she ends up in those final 2 seats, Angela's voting for her. Unless Angela does a madness, or Leah does a madness and betrays Angela, I don't know. But either way, Leah's keeping Angela on side because she knows she's a vote in jury, which is amazing. It's great. It's a great idea. Quinn did get down on his knees and beg her, which I thought was really awkward and a little bit desperate. And I was like, that, you've taken it a little bit too far now. It's uncomfortable to watch now. And I think you need to calm yourself. You need to calm down a little bit. But either way, that is all for today. We do have the veto meeting to talk about, actually, but the veto meeting was fairly uneventful. Oh, wait, Angela got taken off of the block again by somebody else. Angela's playing a fantastic game. The fact that she's had two people in one season use the veto on her when she hasn't even asked them to. Spectacular, stunning. This woman could easily win this show if she's not careful. Oh, if the other contestants are not careful, let's put it that way. Because there are just more appetizing targets to get out of the game than Angela. But is that worrying? Is she then going to become a big target because she's not a target? I don't know. I really don't, guys. But all I know is that Angela, Leah, and the rest of the gang, apart from Rubina, Chemo, and Joseph, have been allowed to enter the jury phase of the game, which is so iconic, so amazing. However, we will be losing one of Rubina, Chemo, and Joseph. It's a tough one. I don't know who I want to go home. I think it will be Chemo, but could it be Rubina? I don't think it'll be Joseph. If Joseph goes, I'll be surprised. But maybe they will get Joseph out. I actually don't know. Once again, this is another week where anybody could go home, which is so incredible. Like, usually going into the final episode, the eviction episode, I know who's going. BB25, as much as I did enjoy that season, it's nothing compared to this season. Like, now I understand what you guys were banging on about when you were like, oh, it was a bad season. Compared to this season, yeah, it's trash. Did I enjoy it watching it? Absolutely. But BB25 was far too predictable for my liking. And I like it to be so much more unpredictable. And honestly, this BBAI arena, they better keep it around. This is the best addition to the game that, like, I've seen so far in the last couple of seasons. So they better keep it around. I like the 3 nominees. I think that's a great idea. And the fact that they don't know who's going to be on the chopping block by eviction night is a brilliant twist. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys later in the next episode. But until then, keep on ranting, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now.